Okay, so now we are live. There was a request of Puttamamsa Sutta. This is flesh of a child. It's in Samyukta Nikaya 12.63. Okay, this sutta talks about how we should understand life. Meaning to say, this sutta will take us from a entry-level person, which is Sotapanna, to Arhat, if we were to practice. And the practice is all the time again. Just like in any other what we looked into, this also is same. So this, when we look at Samma Ditti, the first thing that comes is about food, the 4 kinds of food, which provides nutrition, 1 to the body and the other 3 to the mind. So since we covered it and there were some doubts on that for Preeti and her aunt, so I thought about covering. The aunt is yet to come. I don't know whether she's going to come or not, but we will
let him to come. Let us
wait.
Know whether she's having any problem to join or what.
Yeah, if you want, you can call her.
Yes.
Okay, so let's wait if she's joining. So this sutta actually is a very nice one, looking at how unmindfully we eat and how unmindfully the mind gets locked into a lot of sensuality, and that makes a rebirth possible. So if we were to de-link it, there she comes. Yes. Okay. Namo Buddhaya, Malti ji. Okay, so let's begin the sutta. So there are 4 kinds of fuels, or food basically. This food brings sentient beings back into the world. Okay, now I want to explain what is a sentient being. What is that means? So we need to understand there are beings who don't have mind and there are beings who have mind. If we take bacteria, if we take a single-celled organisms, including the cells in our body, what's a mind? Mind is the one which can feel and perceive. If we take plants, they can feel, but they cannot perceive. Perception requires 5 senses. Okay, so you need to see, you need to touch, you need to hear, you need to smell, you need to taste. 5 senses. So basically, when we look at the life forms have one with 5 senses, one without 5 senses. What we are talking is about beings which have 5 senses. So from an ant, if we were to see, to a mosquito, to everything, they can sense. They can sense the food, they can sense the sight, that the light can be sensed by them, they can sense the air, they can sense the fire, they can sense all of that. So they have an ability to sense. Maybe not what a human being can sense, but they can sense. So the color variation is there, the sound variation is there, but their variations are there, but that doesn't mean that they cannot sense it. So they sense it. Now when they sense it, okay, 1 second, let me mute. Okay, so when they can sense it, they would sense with perception. So the perception has an intellect. So when I'm saying that I'm seeing this person, it means that I'm already having a perception that this is a person, and this person is called so and so, and he or she is doing so and so things. So, or if I look at a dog, I can perceive that is a dog, and I can also perceive that is my dog, and or that is a stray dog, or that is my friend's dog, like that. So the beings have perception, they have feeling. This is called as mano, mind. Now this feeling and perception in turn has an intention. So we intend to do something. So I'm intending to do this discourse today. Okay. So I am intending, so it becomes punyabhi sankhara, because I am helping in making this knowledge known. It's not related to the sense enjoyment as such. I'm not enjoying through senses. I'm not enjoying the six of you, what I'm seeing. I'm not enjoying the sight or sound or taste or touch or smell, but I am doing something different. Now if I am showing a movie, then the sense perception will have sensuality. So the difference between this food and that food is that both are food. This food gives rise to a punya, and that results in sensual attachment. So okay, now if I feel I am doing it, it is going to create rebirth. So what is going to happen if I were to do like this, whatever I am doing? If I create asmimana, that is I-ness in myself, and say I am doing it, it creates rebirth. So I might be born in a better place, but I am still born because there is a food given. Okay, this is what is called as mano sanchetana ahara, and mano sanchetana is nothing but mano sankhara, because you are using this chetana, which is intention. Now that food, when taken through intention, creates an environment for becoming. So I become something, that I will have to become something, otherwise it cannot have any kind of experience. And for the experience I require to have a vijnana, which is consciousness. So consciously the nama and rupa gets created. So example is that I have a wife. Now who is a wife? Nobody knows. The definition of wife, nobody knows. The definition of husband, nobody knows. Definition of friend, nobody knows. We don't, it's like a role. It's not actually a person being there. There is no person called as husband. There is no person called as wife. There is no person called as friend. There is no person called as enemy either. There is no person called as an employee. There is nothing like that. Actually, there is no separate persons who are going to come when the name is called. The same person comes and he says, I am the employee. The same person will come and say, I am the father. The same person will come and say, I am the brother. The same person will come and say, I am the husband, if he were to be a male. So now this is like taking a spear and hitting it on the person's body, because he keeps on recognizing it all the time. So in the whole day of mine, from morning till evening, I am being hit 3 times minimum. Once in the morning, once in the afternoon, once in the evening, with 300 spears each time. because I'm identifying that I have a wife. So every time I remember the wife, there's a pain. Why? Because it's just through consciousness I'm able to experience wife when no wife exists. Okay, so then what I'm supposed to do? I'm supposed to know that it is another being in the samsara, not wife. I never had a wife, nor I'll be having one, no matter how much I try. But in my mind, it is so engrossed or so occupied or so caught up that I feel I have a wife. And I perceive a wife. Now with this feeling and perception in the mind, Mano Sanchetana, again an environment gets created for rebirth consciousness that I need to have a wife in the next life. Because it is continuous process. Like I get hit, I feel the pain, and again I get hit, again I get a pain, again I get hit, again I get the pain. And this goes on. So he says, you should look at in that way when you look at Vijnana. And what happens in Vijnana is Nama and Rupa gets created. So Avidya Pachaya Sankhara, Sankhara Pachaya Vijnana, Vijnana Pachaya Nama Rupa. So now there is a name and a form. Where is the form? The same form is called as wife. There's no other person who is coming. It's just a nomenclature. Nama and Rupa. The octets, 8 of them, that is Patavi, Apo, Vayu, Tejo, Varna, Rasa, Gandha, Oja, is identified as wife. So you have Patigha. So Patigha means striking. So every time it strikes, that means every time this person comes and shows herself in front of me, instead of looking it as a being in the samsara, I am treating her to be my wife. Now what is that I can expect out of it? Either I will die first or she dies first. In either way, there is a void that is going to get created. Because there was no wife existing in the first place and no husband existing in the first place. But now I have a wife, and since I have a wife, I have to take care of her. And since I have to take care of her, there's something called as family. And since there is a family, I need to earn for a living for the family. And then I need to make all the ends meet. And after all of that being done, the wife dies, leaving a voidness in my life. This is what the Vijnana Ahara can do. So if I were to understand the Vijnana, I don't have to understand anything else. So in the end of this sutta, Buddha says that if somebody has understood this one, when consciousness as fuel is completely understood, name and form is completely understood. When name and form are completely understood, a noble disciple has nothing further to do, I say. So now I need to drop wife. Can I do it? Answer is no. Why? Because I am used to getting hit by spear, and I don't realize that. So now from this time onwards, I need to remember sati, that I am getting hit. So first, the 5 indriyas I need to work out. So first one is Saddha Indriya. Second one is Virya Indriya. The third one is Sati Indriya. Fourth one is Samadhi Indriya. Fifth one is Panya Indriya. I need to sharpen all the 5 of them. And then I am always looking from sati to understand samadhi. What is that I am calling? I am just calling a name. There's nothing else other than naming something. Naming through what? Naming through consciousness. You consciously call somebody. So, just for a conceptual reality, or just for having a reality called as world, we cannot say 32 parts of the body. So we can put a nomenclature, name, a designation to it. So this name has this designation. Okay. This name called Vilas has a designation as husband, and this person as so and so has a designation as a wife. And that's the truth. There has been no wife and no husband to anyone, not only me, anyone. And that's a fact. If we marry, then only there is wife and husband. If we divorce, it becomes ex-wife, ex-husband. So where was the wife and where was the husband? It was just an agreement. In the same way, this body is named. Not the person is named. There was no person to be named in the first place. Okay, and again a designation was given. What was a designation? My son. And when this son grew up, then got married, the person who married started to call the same body as my husband. The mother calls this body as a son, whereas the wife calls the same body as a husband. Both of them are designation. Son is a designation, and it has a role and it has a job description. Husband is a designation, it has a role and it has a job description. Coming to the person, sutta, there is again a designation, there is a role and there is a job description. Now if we were to ask someone, show me the job description for a husband, nobody has it. It's a perceived one. It's not real. Okay, give me about son. Nobody has it. Give me about daughter. Give me about wife. Give me about anything we have. No, we don't. Because each person, depending on situation, will act in different way as a husband and a son and a uncle and whatever the other designations that can be taken, brother, all that. It is dependent on situation. So it is not universal, even though the designation is universal. But the reaction from the mind is totally different in each individual. It's different. So we don't have a proper way to designate and create a role. This is what Vijnana Ahara is all about. So if you are calling my name, you are calling my name because there is no other way to call. Not because you are recognizing me. There is no other way. If I understand that much, then there is no problem. If I were to designate this human being as wife, I am designating it because there is no other way to designate it. But it's not real. It's just a designation. So then what I should do? Every time I call it as a wife, I should think that somebody is hitting me with a spear. 300. So if I call wife, 300. If she calls me husband, 300. Forget wife and husband. If she even calls my name, 300. If I call her name, 300. Why? What's wrong? The wrong thing is the person is going to go away. If I don't take the pain right now, I'm going to take that pain when the person departs. It's more painful then than now. So if I were to work out on this Vijnana Ahara, there's nothing else to know because the Nama and Rupa is completely removed. So there is no Raga and Dvesha coming at all. Then there is no Moha. Because I've understood Anicca, Dukkha, Anatta, Asubha. Husband came into existence and it's going to depart. Wife came into existence, it's going to depart. If anything arises and passes away, it creates dukkha. Correct? If anything is having dukkha, then it should have anatta. Can I do anything about wife passing away? No. Can I do anything about this husband passing away? No. Is there anything I can do about the son passing away? No. Is there anything I can do about daughter passing away? No. I can only wish. Let it not happen. But I don't have a way to hold it, control it. So it's anatta. So when I remove the Nama and Rupa, it's perfect. So this is the thing about Vijnana Ahara. Then the Mano Sanchetana Ahara we spoke about. How this gets formed. The volitional actions, what we take. Whenever we have these five senses, immediately there is a volition to do something about it, which itself becomes a food. Then we have Vedana, which is the Phassa, as Ahara. So it's like he gives an example of a cow which has no skin. The outer skin has got removed. Now, if it stands at one wall, the flies and other, they come and attack. If it goes inside the water beings will do that. If it goes and stands somewhere, it is going to do that. So, it's the three Vedanas. One is pleasant, Sukha Vedana. Second one is the Dukkha Vedana. And the third one is Asukha Adukkha Vedana. That is neutral feeling. So the feeling should be treated as a fuel. Now we will go to that the Thabba Sutta. This is 36.5. Okay, in the same Samyukta Nikaya 36.5, he talks about three feelings. He says you do this to understand the feeling. First one, pleasant feeling, consider it as a suffering, dukkha. Painful feeling should be seen as a dart, an arrow, hit to the person. And neutral feeling should be seen as anicca. Why? Why should I do that? To get a pleasure, you need to take lot of pain. There's not even one pleasure which happens without the person taking any pain at all. Right from the birth till today, whether we have taken kindergarten exams to food to all kind of life experiences we have, If it has succeeded because somebody has worked towards it. Otherwise, no. So when a pain has been taken. So every pleasurable experiences has pain behind it. If I am doing very good in business, it's not happened by fluke or by coincidence. No. There has been tremendous amount of pain being taken. If I'm working good in an organization, it's not that they wanted to keep me and I'm there. It is because I have put tremendous effort to survive in that place. So if we see like this, it's painful. Every pleasure gets you the pain. And second one, painful feeling, dukkha vedana. So my wife goes away somewhere. See, to get my wife back, wherever she has gone, until she comes back, there's a pain of anticipation, and she comes back. But let's say the wife again goes out. Isn't it painful? Or the husband goes away on work and is driving the car. There are all chances of getting accident. But the wife and the family members have to believe that nothing is going to happen. When there is nothing, like there's no guarantee, nothing is going to happen. Anything can happen anytime to anyone, and we all know it. It's not that we don't know it. But we don't see it like a dart. We don't see it like an arrow being hit at you. We feel that is part of life. And the third one is that anicca, arising and passing away. Neutral feeling, if you don't know the neutral feeling at all, that means we are in ignorance. What is a neutral feeling or adukha asukhama vedana? It means that you are not connected with anything. Most of the time, when we don't know the person or the place or a thing or whatever, we don't have anything to connect to it. We are neutral. But that is when that arises and passes away. You have not seen it. That's ignorance. That's where avidya is. So if I am able to see these three feelings, that there is something called as a peaceful feeling which I have not known. But when I know the peaceful feeling, then I get into Nibbana. Through this feeling of neutral, one can get into Nibbana. Not through the painful feeling nor pleasurable feeling. Painful feeling gets into aversion. Pleasurable feeling will get into raga, which will take us to more and more desires to be sought. So what Buddha says is that just like the cow, which doesn't have skin, now wherever it runs, it has to feel something or the other. Similarly, wherever we go, there are objects. So we are going to feel something or the other. If I go out, I see on the road some buildings, I feel. I can feel pleasant feeling, I can feel painful, I can have neutral feeling. If I see a lamppost, again same thing. If I go to a park, same thing. If I see my wife, same thing. If I see my mother-in-law, same thing. If I see my uncle or aunt or brother, sister, whatever, or if I go to another country or another place or whatever it is, it's the same thing. I'm only going to feel. Which is like a cow not having skin. So if I'm able to meditate upon the cow not having skin, then the person gets released from this madness. So Buddha says that we need to look at it in that way, in the way that the cow not having the skin. So we covered all the three mental food. Continuing on that itself, there is this beautiful sutta in Samyukta Nikaya 12.64, that is 6.3 is the one what we are talking about the Putta Mamsa Sutta. The 6.4 is Attiraga Sutta, the very next sutta of that. This is a beautiful one. He now brings it through the Paticca Samutpada, the same four food. So he says, if there is desire, relishing and craving for solid food, he says, Attitanha, Patittitam tatham tatha vinyanam virullam. Virullam means it grows. So the consciousness starts to grow. So when the consciousness starts to grow, tatha nama rupassa avakkanti, name and forms are conceived then and there. And when that happens, sankhara will start. When the sankhara will start, punabhava bhinibhatti, that means a new state of existence in the future is already made. And with the new existence or new state of existence in the future, there would be rebirth, there would be aging, there would be death. When there is rebirth, old age and death in the future, I say this is full of sorrow, full of anguish and full of distress. Then he says, if there is relishing and craving for contact as a fuel, phassa, then the same thing happens. The consciousness will start to grow. So when the consciousness grows, it comes up with names and forms. And when that names and forms are there, then the sankhara will start to mature. And when the sankharas will start to mature, it takes you to the new existence. And when there is new existence, there is rebirth, old age and death in the future. And he talks about all of them, all the four. And then he says, when the person knows this, understands this, he doesn't create it at all. So he doesn't allow. When he doesn't allow, then there is no rebirth. Why? Because there is no desire, there is no relishing, there is no craving or solid food. Then the consciousness does not become established and doesn't grow. And like that he does, and in the end he asks a beautiful question, 4 questions. He says, supposing there was a house or a hall or a peaked roof with windows on the northern, southern and eastern side. When the sun ray rises and the rays of light enter through a window, where would it land? So if it is starting from the east, the light will fall on the western wall. If there were no western wall, then what happens? Where would it land? On the ground. If there were no ground, where would it land? In water. If there was no water, where it would land? It wouldn't land anywhere. In the same way, if there is no desire, relishing and craving for solid food, contact, mental formations and consciousness, then there is no rebirth. That consciousness is the light, like the sun. it requires to be falling on something. If you don't give that to fall, then nothing exists. Doesn't come back. So then what we should do? So he says in the 12.63 what we're talking about. When you sit for lunch or dinner or breakfast or whatever you are doing, do this. There is a couple having a only child. They are crossing the desert. What is a desert? Desert is the samsara. Limited fuel represents our life. It's very limited. The samsara is long, but the fuel what we have is very less. Hardly we survive here for 70 or 80 or 90 or maximum 100 years. So let's do a math and see. First 10 years, we don't know who we are, that's waste. The last 10 years, we don't know why we are still living, that's a waste. So 10 gone out of 100 remains 80. The next 10 years, it's all about studying and preparing and all that. So we don't get time to know what we are doing, so that 10 years gone. So 20 years in the beginning is gone. Now here 10 years gone, then the next previous 10 years, that is 80 to 90. We are so aged that ailments and other things and hospitalization, food and taking care, this and that is also gone. So now this 20 is gone from here, another 20 gone from here, so we are left with 60 years. Now the 20 to 30 is a most crucial year for any human being, because he has to establish or she has to establish and they get married or whatever it is in this 20 to 30. So this 30 years is gone without doing anything. So then 20 years were gone here. Now we look from 70 to 80. 70 to 80 is a very crucial period, because the children have got married and they're having their own children. That is, I would have become a grandfather or grandmother and all that. So that 10 years is also gone. So 30 removed here and 30 removed here. We have only 40 years left. Now this 30 is gone here. Now the 30 to 40 years is very crucial. Why it is crucial? Because you have to collect a lot of things. You have to maintain the family. You have to do many things for a living. So this 10 years also goes away. So the 40 years is gone here. And this side of the equation, 30 years is gone. So we have closely removed 70 years by now. Now we come to 40 to 50. Middle age, where a lot of responsibilities, and when the parents die at that time and etc., many changes happening in the bodies of the husband and wife and children and their education, bringing them up and all that goes away. So that 10 years is also gone. So first 10, second 10, third 10, fourth 10 is also gone, and the fifth 10 is also gone here. And the last 30 is also gone. So we are now left with 20 years. 50 to 60. It's a end of career and all that. So we have to have a lot of money. Otherwise, what will happen to our future? All those worries are there. So now 50 to 60 also is gone. So we are left with how many years now? 60 to 70. That's all you have. But body pains would have started, stress, blood pressure, diabetes, and this and that will not make you to do anything. So basically the entire 100 years is nothing. And that is how our food is. So small. we have brought that's very small packet, which doesn't really fill up to cover even half of the desert. Forget covering the full desert, because there is limited quantity of supply. Now what we should do? Well, that couple had to think, we have only one child. 3 people will die now. So why don't we kill our only child, our only lovely child, and eat his flesh till we cross the desert? And they just do that. They kill it, and they feel very bad of their killing their only child, and they keep on crying and saying that, where is my child? Where is my only child? So what do you think? Did that couple eat for fun, for indulgence, for adornment or decoration? No. But actually, if we see what human beings are doing, they have it for fun, keep on munching something or the other all the time. Do it for indulgence. I have money, I will go and have a dinner, I'll go and have a lunch, and a huge one, palatial, and I will eat and eat and eat and eat. Adornment, I just go and enjoy, put it on Facebook, look what I'm eating, this big ice cream and this drinks and this one and that one and all that. And decoration. So there are a lot of decorations of food. It is where sensuality thrives. Kama is where it thrives. So he says, you practice eating like that couple who had to kill their only child to cross the desert. Desert representing the samsara, food representing your limited life. How many years? Hardly nothing. First 10 gone, this 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 10. So you don't have anything actually. And if, what is the guarantee I'm going to survive till 100? What if I'm only surviving till 90? What if I'm surviving only till 80? What if I'm surviving only till 70? Like in my personal case, both of my parents died at 70, exactly 70. So what's a guarantee that I can survive beyond 70? So now I am 50, exactly 50 right now. That means I have only 2 decades, not more. I don't know, I might not survive. If I survive, okay, fine. But what if I don't survive beyond 70? Then we come a next 10. What's the guarantee I'm going to survive till 60? So then left with only 10 years. And what's the guarantee of that also? Now whatever is gone is gone. Whatever remains, what's a guarantee? So if we don't have that guarantee, how are we then enjoying the food? So when we reflect like this, immediately the raga, dvesha, moha will go away. So raga, dvesha, moha appears in 5 senses: sight, sound, taste, touch, smell. The sight of the food creates hungry. makes one person hungry. The sound of that food, the taste of that food, the smell of that food, the touch of that food. If we were to see it like this, where the couple has killed their only child and that to eat, and every time I have breakfast, I reflect upon that. Oh my goodness, I am eating because there's no other way of doing it. And in the afternoon, there's no other way of doing it. And in the evening, there's no other way of doing it. Next day morning, like that. What happens? The sensual stimulation itself is completely eliminated. There's no desire. Atti raga. It becomes natti raga, no raga. And when that is understood, the noble disciple, the Arya, might not have any fetter, that is 10 fetters, to come back in this world. Now here is one catch. Is it all 10 or the 5? In this, the first 5. So you can become an anagami just by contemplating on physical food alone. That's all. You don't have to go by the Vijnana Ahara and Mano Sanchetana Ahara, Phassa Ahara. So in the Samma Ditti, if you are able to put this, your Samma Sankappo becomes perfectly established. Nekkhamma Sankappo. So you will not do any karma. Abhyapada Sankappo. You will not curse. You will not feel irritated. You will not feel unhappy of anything. Avihimsa Sankappo. So you will not injure anything because it's of no use. Then when the Samma Ditti, Samma Sankappo works, Samma Vacha will automatically happen. Now there's no point in telling lies, and there's no point in slander, there's no point in harsh speech, and there's no point in wasting time in unnecessarily gossip. Samma Kammanto. So I will not kill, I will not then steal, and I will not have sexual and sensual misconduct. Samma Ajivo. I will take professions as per the 4 Pachavekana. That is, I need to survive this body for realization, Brahmacharya Anugraha. That means to get myself liberated from this existence. And I'm going to wear, not for adornment or anything, because I have to cover from sun and cold and all that. Then shelter and medicine, 4 requisite. Samma Vayamo. Cut out the 2 immoral and develop the 2 moral. Then Samma Sati, 4 Satipatthana. Then Samma Samadhi. Now the Samadhi is established. With food, only with food, nothing more we need to do. That's the reason he says, Natti Kinchi. There's nothing else the person needs to do except for this. If he does, he will not return to this world. This world is the world of humans, the world of the Devas, and he will be born in Brahma, which is meant for anagamis. So there is no womb birth again. But however, if one were to do the other 3, then there is nothing else to do, nothing further to do, I say. So now these 3 mental things, if somebody has worked properly, there is no rebirth in any realms. So there is no anagami. becomes Arhat. So the first one, Anagami, 3 ones makes one attain Arhat. So this is what is the sutta all about. So we can contemplate on this food for fuel or for food. Any questions? That's all I had. Preeti ji, hope I clarified to you. You are on mute, okay.
It's good.
Okay. So you can take the physical food. So every time we... Yeah, go.
But we have known till now that in Samadhi, in right view, knowing the four noble truths is...
Yes, so if you go through Sammaditthi Sutta, you will see all of them, including the Four Noble Truths. So I suggest you read the Sammaditthi Sutta.
We have to contemplate on four noble truths then only food.
No, if you take the food, it becomes easy. But if you can do with the Four Noble Truths, that's the best.
Then at last, what about wisdom then after Samadhi?
After you are in Samma Samadhi, you get the other two phalas, which is Samma Jnana, Samma Vimukti.
Then in wisdom, what will all the Dhamma will be known?
Yes, everything will be known.
Everything.
In the Samadhi, in the fourth jhana, once you establish the fourth jhana, all asavas will get erased. So then you have the Samma Jnana, Samma Vimukti. Okay, if there are no further leading questions, we can end for today. It's a very short thing today.
Short but important.
Yeah, very important. Okay, good night and Namo Buddhaya.
Namo.